Florence Juma here of Ebenezer Moments, back with mini-series titled Prevention is Better. And today, I'm bringing to you a group of students. They call themselves Step Up Dance Group, students of Maseno University, Odera Kango campus, who have stepped up to share their reflection. They have given feedback on this title of Prevention is Better, focusing on mental well-being. The students will share with you their video where they are sharing their reflection, sharing their insight, and just encouraging each other and creating awareness on how we can continue upholding, addressing, and finding ways to prevent suicide. Now, in Canada where I live, it's fall season. Fall season is characterized with beauty. The trees, the nature, the leaves change colors, and they are in progress. You can see one tree with multiple colors on the leaves, from some that are still holding on to green, to some orange and yellow and red, and some starting to get brown, nearing death to fall off. But one thing that fall is characterized with is beauty, the beauty in nature. Something else about fall is that it's a flu season. There are more and more cases of flu, and people are encouraged to take the flu shot, the vaccine. Now, medical science is on top of it. They have come up, and every year they improve the vaccines that people need to prevent cases of flu, or at least make them less harsh when somebody is exposed and gets sick with flu. If they have taken the vaccine, then it's likely that it will be mild and not severe. Now, yes, there is vaccine to contain, to manage the flu symptoms or even prevent flu and the mother of all flus, which is COVID-19. Sadly, there is no medication, there is no vaccine that can be given to prevent mental illness. However, we have different ways, we encourage different ways to promote mental health and wellness, to try and stay on top of it. And that's what we've been looking at. As we say, prevention is better. It's always better to prevent than to cure. How do we prevent suicide? How do we encourage each other, motivate each other to find ways, different ways to deal with stressful situations, challenges in life, and never to consider suicide as an alternative? Prevention is better. How do we prevent? That's the question. We all agree prevention is better. Taking a vaccine and immunization against any illness is a good idea. But how do we prevent against mental illness or even suicide ideation or, God forbid, suicide? By encouraging each other, by speaking to each other, by sharing insight, supporting each other. And I want to shout out to Step Up Dance Group, students of Maseno University, Odera Kango campus. They have stepped ahead to share their insight and knowledge and experience reside with all of us. And as we share this, we are likely to encourage each other, to inspire each other, to find other productive, helpful solutions in addressing our problems. I want to leave you with a scripture from the Bible, 2 Timothy 1:7. For God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. I pray and I hope that you will experience a healthy degree of a spirit of power, of love, and of sound mind. But should there be fear? Should there be thoughts and feelings of anxiety? Should there be depressive moods? Just know that we are in it together. We are all human. We are finding ways to inspire each other to be healthy, to prevent cases of suicide, and to be the support of each other. Let us take a listen to the students sharing their insight and reflecting out loud on ways to prevent. and to stay healthy and to be each other's carer. Join me, Ebenezer.
Hello everyone, my name is Cassie Zerina and we are here as the Step Up Dance Crew to discuss about mental health, and under mental health we are going to talk about suicide prevention, and the main theme on suicide prevention we'll be talking about prevention is better, and I'll let my colleagues to introduce themselves.
Hello guys, my name is Ashio Ameki. I'm also from Maseno University. We are currently at Siaya County, Yala, to be specific. Yeah.
I'm Kyle Brian, a student from Maseno University, also a dancer.
I'm Naisanyo Gloria, also a dancer from Maseno University.
So guys, talking about prevention is better, what comes to my mind, the first thing that comes to my mind is reducing stigma, like stigma prevention. So first of all, talking about stigma, what is stigma?
I think stigma is how that confidence, or maybe someone, the altering of your confidence in something. Stigmatization, maybe it can be a particular reason, maybe you are usually a loner, so people perceive you for being a loner, so that stigmatization of people telling you what to do, yeah, it can be something like that.
Yeah, and there are two types of stigma. There is the public stigma and the self stigma. Like the public stigma ni that stereotype yenye the society bring out against those with the mental issues nini, and then the self stigma is that you internalize about yourself. So that was about understanding stigma, and then there is the barriers that comes with stigma. So guys, kuna mtu akona point on that?
About stigmatization.
Yeah, that comes with
about stigmatization is that
effects of stigma.
Effects. Stigmatization can lead to loneliness. A person can feel lonely because people outside are judging the individual who is under the feeling of suicide. So stigmatization can lead to a person being lonely.
Yeah, it can lead a person to be lonely. So what we can urge other people is that they stop stigmatization and accept people the way they are. I think that's how it can help.
Yeah, and also stigmatization reduces the self-esteem. So like when people have a stereotype about people with mental health, like wanasema people with this kind of issue should not be doing this. Now stigmatization does not only come with the mental health, some kind of diseases there is that's the way the society in our view, and so that creates stigmatization. Now it leads to low self-esteem, and it can lead to depression. Mickey, do you have something?
I think preventing stigmatization will be a stepping stone for preventing suicide. Prevention is better, as you had mentioned earlier. So I think ending stigmatization or promoting ways in which it can be stopped, such as maybe having community support, whereby a person who was contemplating suicide can have a sense of belonging in that community. Yeah, I think it can help with also coping with stress, anxiety, yeah, which should not be allowed to get into our heads.
Yeah, another way I think is creating education awareness, like what we are now doing here. It's a way of reducing stigmatization. Like you create a public awareness, public campaign. Yeah. So Oh, and also creating open conversations, like you make it easier for your friend to come to you, to talk to you whenever they are experiencing something that is too much for them to handle. Like you just be an open person that someone can talk to. And also language matters, like let's say for example someone died because they committed suicide. You don't go saying that person died because they committed suicide. You say that person died by suicide, not that that person committed suicide. Do you have anything to add?
No.
Okay.
About prevention is better. Also, we can talk about being familiarizing, knowing. Okay. About that, prevention is better. We can talk about early. Also, you can talk about early intervention. Early intervention is the way that you know the signs earlier. Like if one is depressed, you can know the sense that this person is depressed, and we help the person earlier. That's a way of prevention.
Also, engaging yourself with others from like your family, friends can also prevent the thoughts of having suicide, because the engaging yourself with others can make you to do something more helpful than just being there lonely and depressed.
Yeah, being lonely and depressed. Like let's give an example. When someone is in a learning institution, and how can you know how can you have a sign that this person is depressed or is going through a lot? Like you can see it from failing from the exams, so that you can know this person is not.
And then we have to advocate for policies that fight for the rights of individuals with mental health, and safe spaces should be created in schools, workplaces, and societies to prevent suicide.
I'm gonna talk about building resilience. Yeah, we are all gonna have we all gonna have a bad day sometimes. So one thing, when you have a bad day, you should be having someone you can talk to. You must have that trusted friend, maybe a parent, it might be your mother, father. So you find that day which you've had a bad day and you are maybe thinking of committing suicide. So you could, through building resilience, you can decide to talk to maybe your parent and share with him or her your thoughts of how you should cope with your life, because sometimes it becomes hard. Yeah, and we need to have someone to talk to, or someone who displays signs of a safety haven, of whereby you can be yourself. You can talk about anything without being judged or seen as a bad person. Yeah, I think by doing that, we would have done preventing suicide, which prevention is better. Yeah.
Oh, and another point on building resilience, the community plays a key role in building resilience. Like the support of a community is the major deal hapo kwa yote. Accidentally, your nude videos get leaked. Unaweza do nini as a community? As a community, sema for example nudes za Naisanyu zileak. What can you do?
What I can do as a community, if videos get leaked in the internet, in a village,
In the internet.
is to make sure that those videos do not get far. Like we should not spread the videos to other people. When I get the video, I should not spread the video to make or to you. Okay, I will just delete the video.
You can also tell people to avoid the stigma, not to judge the leaked notes because it haikuwa fault ya the girl. whose news got leaked.
Yeah.
I also, one thing we can say about that, we should also have some level of discipline such that you put yourself in that person's shoes. And from that perspective of, what if it were you? Or if it was your sister? How would you feel? You see? So that's a good way of preventing, because that person may be affected, even they might feel lonely somehow. Then they contemplate to suicide. But creating that community, as you have said earlier, of whereby we try to be in their own shoes, I think you can prevent it better.
Yeah, and we are not saying people to go about leaking nudes in the society. We are just saying the society should be more resilient, not that harsh to people. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching us, and see you next time. Remember, prevention is the better option. Let's fight suicide.
Hello, my name is Florence Chuma, and I'm delighted to inform you that Ebenezer Moments is now trending on our social media handles. You can watch previous episodes of the show on YouTube on Ebenezer Moments at Stones of Help. For updates and to know when we upload new videos, check us out on Facebook at Ebenezer Books. Thank you for supporting our initiatives. Hello, and thank you for joining us again for the mini-series titled Prevention is Better. Prevention is better, always. And I have to shout out to those Maseno University students, Odera Kango campus. Let me just right now peg in and tell you that my family of origin lives right there behind Odera Kango campus. My dad's home is right there. Whenever you are on campus, it's just a few steps away to where my dad lives. I shout out to you, Katsi Karina, Ashu Ameki, Kylie Bryan, and Naisanyu Gloria. You guys hit the nail on the head. Immediately you identified that one of the ways to prevent suicide is stigmatization, reducing stigma. You say that stigmatization is a barrier to preventing suicide. Shout out to you. That just hit it on the head. You even highlighted some of the negative effects of stigmatization and some of the effects of reducing stigma. Now, what is stigma? You asked, and you gave a very good definition. And I want to add to that with a definition from the staff at Mayo Clinic. They write, stigma is when someone views you in a negative way because you have a distinguishing characteristic or a personal trait that's thought to be or actually is a disadvantage, a negative stereotype. Unfortunately, negative attitudes and beliefs toward people who have a mental health condition are common. Stigmatization. So you guys highlighted the negative effects of stigmatization. You highlighted loneliness, depression, feelings of rejection, reduction in one's self-esteem, and stress. Those are the negative effects of stigmatization. And then you looked at ways of reducing stigmatization and encouraging people. And you highlighted some of the effects. If people were to reduce stigmatization, here are the positive effects from the Step Up Dance Group. Sense of belonging, that's what people will feel, where in the absence of stigmatization, there will be a sense of belonging. It will help people to cope with stress. It will create awareness, educating communities, educating the public about the risk, the negative effects of stigmatization. You said that reducing stigmatization is a stepping stone towards preventing suicide, and that is spot on. And also reducing stigmatization increases communication. People feel comfortable, they feel safe, they feel trusting, and they can reach out with their problems in the environment where stigma is reduced or altogether eliminated. Now, I like how you also came up with some very practical practices like the language. The language matters. When people use a language like someone committed suicide, it almost feels like re-victimizing the victim. And you recommended died by suicide, more humane than committed suicide. You also said early intervention is important. And the only way we can intervene early is if we know the signs. Know the signs for early intervention. And one thing that you highlighted was remain connected. Reach out to someone, to your friends, to your family, to your colleagues. And then you said something very basic but very important, that life is ups and downs. There are low moments, there are high moments. There are challenging times, there are manageable times. The stresses will come and go. When that happens, you say that a solution is building resilience. Building resilience through social capital, having people you can reach out to, you having people in your life like friends, and also the role of the community in building resilience. And finally, you gave a very good practical example and said, suppose an unfortunate situation will happen to one of you, and ask each other, what will you do if by very bad, unfortunate incident, some nude pictures of someone are leaked? And I like the solutions you came up with. Empathy. Empathize. Put yourself in the shoes of that person. Empathize. Stop the spread as much as it is in your power. Stop the spread and reach out. Reach out to that person. Be a friend. Tap them on the shoulder and say, I'm here for you. Try to understand the situation and address the situation. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your insight. Thank you, Step Up Dance Group of Maseno University, Odera Kango Campus. I hope I'll hear from you again. Until then, Ebenezer.